and welcome to this tutorial today, brought to you by To The Tick. Today's subject is the double top. Now, a double top is a reversal pattern, and it's a visual representation of the changing of the control of trend. It's from the very first opportunity to actually see it until it actually confirms and everybody can see it. They're not going to all look the same, but we're going to go through the structure of a textbook perfect looking double top reversal pattern, and we're going to do it in a bar by bar sequence just like we would watch it in live time. Wow. At this point in what we see in this pattern is that we've had a great big bullish trending move. We have to have had a bullish trending move to be looking for a reversal of that trend. So a double top is a potential reversal pattern. Now, every one of these bars has had a higher high and a higher high and a higher high. How do you know that it's finished? Well, you don't yet. So you don't know that. It's just that this is the first time that something has changed in the pattern. Look at the pattern. It's significant enough of a range from where it rolled over until where it pulled back for you. Okay? That's what determines how you want to trade these. Whatever your time frame chart is, if you look at it from $5, if you look at it from 5 ticks, 5 points, 5,000, 500,000, it's all about still looking at this as a pattern, and it's about comparing it to itself. So if this is significant enough, then that's where you'd be looking for a pattern for a swing high, and when it shows you a pullback that's deeper, from that moment forward, we can draw the pattern. We can say if we're going to have a double top, it needs to do something reverse, and it needs to do it in this rectangle, basically. So we look to outline the pattern as soon as we can, and we're looking for what I call the muddy trench, and that's the dotted red line. The dotted red line is a zone of where you're getting the first people interested in taking some profits out. And that might be all that's happened. People said, I got to take some profits. But what happened when it fell out right here? This is a huge message that this area was not able, it stopped that first flow, but then they went right on through it. So there are enough people that are willing to accept that price. That's what it tells you. So that now means that, just think about it. If you were holding it from here and you still had more left, you've seen this price. You want to get whatever you've got left up here, but now you don't have as many to drive it with. So somebody's got to buy new from here in order to drive it. And this is the person that's trying to trade the trend. They're trying to trade this great big trend trade, and they're wanting to take this first deep pullback they know is probably going to have people willing to support for all the reasons I just named. So that we get this push, and now that middle area now becomes the resistance in the immediate future. They've got to get through there and say, yes, there's still enough of us willing to buy to continue to try to get up here, or we're never going to get that price again. Much less are we going to make a new higher high. So the trend trader's hoping that they bust through this number, right? So we keep going with the pattern and we say, what do we possibly have coming next? Well, from this moment, that bar has now qualified for a double top. That's high enough. It's our rectangle price. We're willing to accept it. They may fail to get any higher, but they actually did. But notice what happened in between. This bar closed green, but there was also that hit of resistance on that price all the way across in your chart, on that price that you've chosen as your top number, even though you know that the price actually got higher. But this is where some major stuff happened in here. 3 bars in there. And that's what you're going after, that meat. And look at that reaction. And they pushed it right back down to that muddy zone again. So now the number 2 area has to prove something. If the bulls want it, they got to go for it. And then it's not looking like a double top anymore. It's not a reverse anymore at that point. So question mark. Bulls, do you want it? If you want it, have you already tested high enough? Yeah. So let's see what happens. Well, we got another bar pushed through, but wait, oh no. It fell back, and not only that, but the muddy trench couldn't hold it this time. Well, they got their 3 little efforts before they had to let go. So who's winning this battle here? It's all coming back to this middle area. This person knew that they needed to start unraveling it, and that's why it took a couple of bars of us still probing up there for people to get out. And once this group that were holding a more short term realized that they weren't going to get any more out of it, they had to do some profit taking through there. Now, we already took some here and we missed our shot. They've been waiting to get another shot at it, taking their profits. So now what comes next? Well, either the double top is going to be a great big trade short, and you may not get a chance to get a trade again up there on that line. So your next opportunity is, let's see what happens and who's in control here. And from that point on, a double top means that they made a second effort. And that is eventually what happens. So we're talking about that third time, that third little push up there being a charm, and the symmetry behind a double top is very nice when you pick a rectangle to area of reverse to be looking at, to be considering to trade. You have a nice opportunity for this, has an extremely high odds to work, to at least make an effort back up there to that top. And if you'll choose the meat in there instead of getting totally greedy, you'll have a nice target. And then once price gets here and approaches, what happens with the volume? And that's how the reverse trader now has to look at it. How strong is it here? How many people are willing to now get out because they can see it's not going any further? This became very powerful. This was pushing higher and higher, and then this was a pretty hard, solid drop. And this was the major message. So trading options for this are textbook. There are 3 options. I think there are 4. Textbook, number 1, is most aggressive, trying to find a place up here on the double top where you're convinced this is a big reverse. Now, a nuance here, if you have major resistance in the background of a larger chart and that's helping you, and or this has been a huge move in price, whatever your reasoning, okay, this is the area you're looking for. Something in the swing high zone. Now, option number 2, which is my version and a little less aggressive, is show me what you do in the muddy trench area. Can you hold this area? When do the bears or the bulls, because it could still go this way, right? It might not be, it's not going to be a double top if it holds right here and goes that way. So this is the proof. Who's really in control? And that control from that zone gives me a nice entry that's much less risk than taking it up there. Classic textbook way to take it is to take the breakdown trade. The next method, which is the most conservative, has very high odds, but it only happens about a third of the time, and that is to wait for the pullback to see if it will come back to the breakdown, and then it confirms. But the target is to take the swing high to swing low, the rectangle mounts. Whatever you want to use, whether you want to use the tips or whether you want to use the meat. And that's what your target is, if it's a double top. So let's do a little quick review here and realize that the double top is a reversal pattern, and therefore we've got to have a trend in the background to reverse. So we're looking at a bullish trending activity that then hits its head into what we call a definition of resistance, which is that there's enough sellers when they push into that new high, that are enough sellers that step in and say, we're going to take a pause here, we're taking some profits. How strong is that pullback? And you establish that muddy trench early and that first swing high to swing low activity. Again, the size of this pattern and what you're looking for in a reversal, stepping in with the big trending action in the background, is all trader choice here. So the swing high and low spread itself actually establishes our reverse rectangle to repeat as a target, so very early in the pattern. And then stop limits, realize they are just above each of these entry options, and number 1 is the most aggressive, is that that double top, swing high price area, the most aggressive option. Number 2 would be my option. After you've seen that second high in place, you're looking for him to pull back and fight over the muddy trench. Who ultimately rules there? How comfortable you feel with who's controlling that line, and it's all about the volume there, folks. And that third classic area is to take that breakdown trade. Personally, not my favorite, but that swing low price area as an entry. And the fourth method is works often because, and when the breakdown trade doesn't work, this one might, because you get a retest for it to pull back up to that breakdown price. So again, it's about how much room is there for either one of those two trades and whether it happens. But it's high odds at that level to at least repeat the size of your rectangle. So this has been brought to you today. It's a double top reversal pattern, and you'll find the video and text description, chart examples, as well as a whole lot of other great educational materials over at tothetick.com/edu. So come visit us. Thank you very much for joining today, and goodbye for now.